All right, so good evening, everyone. We are doing a few questions on functions, trying to tie up functions and relation. So what we are doing is actually looking at a question where they are asking us for um the we are looking for the coordinates of point A and B, which is A is -1, 3, and B is 7, 8. No, not 8. 8 was this point here. So it's 7 and 3. So let's use that on the graph. Let's look at that on the graph. I hope somebody will understand this. So I'm putting my -1 because it's in the um, x-axis. This is a x value and a y value. X value and a y value. So it's -1 and 7. What are they mapped to? The both of them are mapped to what? One is mapped to 3,
B,
and one is mapped, well, 3. They are both mapped to 3. So let's draw a graph. So we have -1 to 3 and 7 to 3. What kind of mapping is this? The first one was a 1 to 1. And this one is a what? What kind of mapping is this? Anybody?
the one to many.
Yeah, two numbers going to one number. What
Many
kind
to
of
one.
Many to
many
one.
to one? Now we have a 1 to 1 and a many to one. So this mapping is called a many to one. Even though there's a 1 to 1, we define it as a many to one mapping. So anytime you see a graph like a curve turn up or down, it is a many to one. Therefore, this is a function. Why is it a function? Because it's always mapping to one value in the range. So many is the x value and one is the y value. Anybody lost? Anybody would like me to go that over? Anybody lost, by the way? Don't feel afraid to say. So the first question that I asked, we are actually doing question 13. So read question 13. So let me ask this question. So any curve turned up or down is a many to one. Any curve turned up or down is a function. It's called a many to one, any curve. Now, let's look at the next one. I'm looking at C. So in part C, they gave us X values, which is the domain, set of Y values, which is the range. So let's plug in the values. It's P, Q, R, and S. And Y is 1, 2, 3, 4. What kind of mapping is this, Kylon? Kylan, what kind of mapping is this? All right,
Uh,
sorry,
Sabi, I'm not familiar with the names, and so.
what kind of mapping is it?
So I'm not familiar with the names, so you can remind me the names.
Right. It's the I'm asking what kind of mapping because there's P going to 1, Q going to 2, R going to S, and R going to 3, and S going to 4. So there's one element in the domain being mapped onto one element in the range. What kind of mapping is this? There are three types of mapping: many to one to one, and one to many.
So one
What
to one,
kind of, sorry?
1-to-1.
This is one to one. This is one to one. Everybody, DeAndre, understand why it's one to one? DeAndre, you understand why it's one to one? Jenny, you understand why it's one to one? Oh, I want to say this, that you all have to recap. Now, this is basic functions. Tashira, do you understand why it's one to one? C. I explained A is many to one. Any curve is many to one. Tashira, you understand why C is a one to one mapping?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because it's only one element being mapped onto another element. One in the X going to one value in the range, the Y. Okay, Jedidia?
Yes, sir.
So why is it one to one, Jedidia? Jedidia, why is one to one? Part C. He just said yes. You understand? So I'm asking you why you think why is part C one to one? Antonio,
So when the curve is upside down,
no, it's not a curve.
not that
It's part C. Why is part C one to one?
so passing is 1-to-1 because it's aligning with the coordinates on the graph.
No, no. Well, you have to just look at the answer is one number or one element in the domain is mapped onto one element in the range. You see, I don't want to just run through the thing. Theodore, you understand what we are saying?
So can
Yes,
you
sir.
say one more time, please?
Yeah, one more time. I'm saying, I'm not going to do it one more time, but I'm just trying to get everybody to understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying, Antonio, Naomi, you are there? Naomi, I haven't heard her talking. Naomi, Joseph, I am saying part C is a one-to-one mapping, Shalomi, because you have one element, which is P in this case, in the domain is mapped onto one number in the range. Tyrese, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You sure? Johansi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Of course, I'm going to come back and ask you. All right. Marcus, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so explain it for me, Marcus. Explain it for me, Marcus. Part, you're explaining for me part C. I am saying part C is a 1 to 1 mapping. It's one number, which is the P, is mapped onto one number, which is 1 in the domain. There is not a number like Q being mapped onto the 1 as well. If this happen, what do we call this in yellow? What kind of mapping is this one?
So how many to one?
It's a many to 1. Marcus, you understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Kerrison. Kylon, do you understand that? Kylon,
Yes, sir.
what do you understand? That?
That's when I'm. Hold on, actually, I'm on.
Sorry?
Nah, I was trying to explain it to my own words now, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Try. Because we want to understand the difference between a 1-to-1 mapping and a many-to-1 mapping.
So how many to one is when I believe the X side is domain, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, the
Right.
left side is the domain or X values.
So, well, when more than one X value is going across the Y value, sir.
Right, correct. So when more than one is going across, that's many to 1, and it's a function. Now, how do we know? Let me ask this question because I'm making an assumption that everybody knows what is a function. What is a function again, everybody? Anybody could remember? What we said was the definition of a function.
A function is a relation in which each element or number in the domain or the X value is mapped onto
So let me
one.
put the domain. Let me draw the domain. This is the domain, which is the X. And this is the range, which is the Y. So what are we saying? That when we have one element, let's call it 1, and let's say this is 8. So one element, which is 1 on the X, 8 on the Y. So one element in the domain Theodora is mapped onto the 8. Or let's put a 3 here. It could be many to 1. So notice you have two numbers going to the 8. This is still a function because it must map to one and only one number or element in the it must map onto one and only one element in the
Range, sir.
range. All right. Jamelia, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Garcia, you understand what I'm saying? Lou says. Garcia.
Yes, sir.
All right. So a function maps one and only one. So let's look at part D of the question. Let's look at part D. I want the class, now that you're getting a hang of it, to tell me if part D is a function. So I'm just going to draw part D. Part D has L, M, and N. That's X, or the domain. Part Y, set of Y values is 2, 4, 6, and 8. But notice what's happening. We have the L. What kind of mapping is this? Let's just use the first set. So let's ask Jada. Jada, what kind of mapping is this for part D that I just drew? So this is many to one. This is 1 to 1. What kind of mapping is part D? Jada.
2 to 1.
How much to 1?
2 to 1.
No, well, is it a many to 1, 1 to 1, or 1 to many? So what mapping is this, Jada?
1 to 1.
1 to many? All right. If you say so, let's ask somebody else. Sahai, what kind of mapping is this? D. What kind of mapping is this, Sahai? Sienna, what kind of mapping is this? For D. Sienna, your mic not working? All right. Sahai, that's correct. Sienna, what kind of mapping is D?
1 to many.
1 to many, that's correct. It's 1, which is the L, and it's going to 2, and it's going to 4. So that's 1 going to many numbers. So one number going to many, one number or element. It's a letter, so we call it an element going to many. Now, is 1 to many a function? That's the big question. Is 1 to many a function? So let's ask Marcus. Marcus, is 1 to many a function?
No, sir.
No. Because the rule says a function maps to one and only one element in the range. One and only one element in the range. So it is not a function. Tyrese, you understand that? Sienna?
Yes, sir.
Jenny, you understand what I just said? Jenny, I haven't heard your voice. Jenny, are you there? Jenny. I have Jenny as presence. Johansi, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Johansi, I ain't hearing you properly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No or yes?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So last one. Last one. I left the last one for last because it's very similar to it's not very similar to A, but it's a little complex. It's something that you will have to learn. So if this is my Theodora, if this is my y-axis, if this is my y-axis Theodora or Garcia, Ezekiel, you could hear me properly? And this is my x-axis. If I notice where the curve is drawn, like, yes, what did you say? You're hearing me properly?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ezekiel. So if I've seen this come for the multiple choice. Any curve drawn like this is a one to many. Just take my word for it because I don't want to go through that right now. So like if you cut a line, here, so you have 2 points on your line. You have a point here, and you have a point here. They share the same x-axis, but they share different y values. So let's call this 5. Let's call this -4. So you have, let's call this -2. So you have -2 on the x-axis going to 2 numbers on the y-axis. All right. So you have -2. We could have put -2 here, and it's going to 5 and 4. Right? So it's many, 1 going to many. So this is not a function. Not a function. 1 to many is not a function. What did I say?
The one to many is not a function.
1 to many is not a function. So let's recap. Let's recap this. Let's recap. Right. So first of all, you need to remember that a function will map one number or element in the domain or the set of x values. So it maps one number or element in the domain. Well, it maps, well, I wouldn't say one number. So that is my error. Let me take this off. Sorry about that. It mapped because it could be 2. All right? So maps elements or numbers in the domain in the domain to one and only one element or number So it maps, a function maps elements or numbers, or it could be a number in the domain, which is a set of X value, to one and only one element or number in the range. So that if you have a graph like this, or a graph looking like this, that's a one-to-many mapping. One-to-many mapping is a function or not? Sorry, this is wrong. This is a many-to-one mapping. Is it a function or not? Somebody. Many-to-one.
This is a function.
Function. Correct. A straight line is a one-to-one mapping. Harrison, is this a function or not? Harrison, is this a function or not? Oh, one-to-one. Is it a function or not? Sorry? Is it a function? You either say function or not. Is it not, or is it a function? One-to-one mapping. It no. Sorry? Not? That's what you're saying? It's a function. It's a function. Number 3. Last one. Where the curve is like that. This shows one-to-many mapping. Deandra, function or not?
So the function.
One-to-many, many. Once you see
That's
many,
a function.
Once you see many in the domain, in the range, once you see many in the range, because the first one is domain, the second one is range. So this is not a function. Not a function. Not a function. All right, people, make sure that you have this. It's recorded. Now, we had to explain what a function is. A function maps elements or numbers in your domain or your X values to one and only one element or number in the range or Y values. So many-to-one function. 1-to-1, which is a straight line. One-to-one function. The only not a function is when you're mapping one to many people. Not a function. All right, this is not a function. All right, make sure and take this down. You would see it in your multiple choice. You would see it in your multiple choice. So quickly, look at this one. All right, let's look at question 16. Question 16, I hope you all can see it. In question 16, you're going to tell me in the chat how many people here today. We have 22 persons. One got knocked off. I'm seeing 20. Oh, yeah, 22 persons. We have 22 persons, so but there was 23 before. I'm not sure who got knocked off. All right. Probably Naomi is still here. Naomi, are you here still? In question number 16, I want you all to write for me whether A is a function or not. So you're going to write A in the chat. You're going to write A. I'm going to put function or not function. Not a function. All right. Once you have not, all right. So you're going to put for the first one is A. Just look at it, how they do it. They did it as a straight line and not as a curve, but that's okay. Is A a function or not a function? Put it in the chat. Is A a function or not a function? Put it in the chat. I want the answers from everybody. I'll call your name. Do not put it in the... Oh, so Naomi is still here. Good. All right. So privately, Tyrese correct. Ashley. No, Tyrese wrong. Tyrese wrong. Well, it's only two answers. Ashley correct. Naomi correct. Theodora, no. Theodora, that's not correct. Antonio correct. Garcia correct. Jedidia, no. No, Jedidia, that's wrong. Carrison, correct. Come on, everybody. I want to see everybody's answer. Johanse, correct. Udia, correct. Jamelia, correct. Jedidia, well, Jedidia, obviously. Well, is either or not. Mikhail, correct. All right, so Marcus, I didn't get any answer from you. Deandra, I did see Deshawn. I'd like to get answers from Deandra and Deshawn as I move on. Deandra and Deshawn, well, Deshawn, correct. And what about Deandra now? Deandra? Theodora, did I get an answer from you? Oh, but I wasn't correct. Shalome? No, Shalome. So people, this, is it a function or not a function? Now, here how the answer goes. Now, because you had your graph and it went this way, people. Any graph going that way is not a function. So the answer is not a function for A. All right, let's move across to B. Put in the chat, is B a function or not a function? Is B a function or not a function? B. Is B a function or not a function? Come on, people. Only 4 persons put the answer. Is B a function or not a function? Is he? Okay, Mikhail, correct. Johanse, correct. Udaya, correct. Sienna, correct. Ashley, correct. Naomi, correct. Antonio, correct. Carrison, no. Kyla, no. Garcia, correct. Where's Deandra? Deandra, did I get an answer from you? Deshawn. Okay, Deshawn. That's right. Right. Well, you didn't have that, Carrison. Look at your answer at the top for B. Jamelia, correct. Where is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I am seeing where is Sahai. You give me an answer. Let me check your work. Sahai didn't give me anything. Theodora. Okay, Theodora. So this part B, people, I don't understand. Part B, it turned like this, right? But that is the same as a curve like this, people. It's not a function. Part B is not a function. All right, so we're going on to C. We're going on to C. All right, put in your answer. Is C a function or not? We're moving down to C. Is C a function or not a function? Is C a function or not? Johanse, correct. Tyrese, correct. Theodora, correct. Ashley, no Ashley. Sienna, correct. Naomi, correct. Antonio, correct. Garcia, correct. What about the others? Is it a function? Part C. Function or not a function? Jamelia, Noah Jamelia. I have to ask people this one. People, if the curve is this way, it's not a function. If the curve is this way, not a function. Once it looks like a C or it goes this way, it's not a function. All right, let's look at part E. Last one, I want to see the answer. Part D. Is part D a function? Is part D, is it a function? Part D. Right, part D. I'm taking the answer for part D. Mikkel, okay, correct. Johanse, correct. Tyrese, correct. Sienna, correct. Naomi, correct. Antonio, correct. Garcia, correct. Theodora, correct. Carrison, correct. Marcus, part D. Is D a function or not, Marcus? Jedidia, wrong. Ashley, wrong. Jamilia, correct. Deshawn, correct. All right, people. For part D, it's a normal curve. Once it's a normal curve, it is a function. Whether it's curved up or down, it is a function, people. Okay? Everybody? Once it's curved up or down, it is a function. When it curves sideways, that is when it's not a function. All right, last question. Last question. We'll finish up this next class. Last question. Here the question. We are looking at question number 17. We're looking at question number 17. So you have X. This is an interesting one. That's why I'm doing it. I want to see how many persons are going to get this one out. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in your range, you have 0, 3, 18, 81. What is the last one? So we have 0 mapped to 0, 1 mapped to 2, 3, 2 mapped to 18, 3 mapped to 81. What do you think is the formula that maps what will map what formula? Now look at one. Is it X plus 1? That's what I mean. What formula is mapping the X to the Y? What formula is mapping the X values, your set of X values, to your Y values? What formula? So you need to tell me what formula. Is an interesting one. Is it X plus 1? Is not X plus 1, by the way. I just asked that. Because when X is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. Can somebody give me a formula that will map? What about 2 times X? What about 2x? Now, if I try 0, 0 by 2 is 0. So that's the first one is okay. But if I try 1, 1 by 2 is 2. So this doesn't work. Anybody have any other idea how they think that I can do this to get?
So 9x.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean 9x? Oh, you all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
All right. What do you mean by 9x?
So 9 is 3x.
Now, you have to explain that formula for me. 3x. Oh, interesting. Let's try your thing. 3x. So when x is 0, you'll get 0. 1 by 3, 3. But what about the 2? That'll give me 6. What about x
Ow.
to the n, where
Wait,
n is the value of x? So 1 by 0, 1 by times 3. It must be a value that you have to multiply by. Let me give you that. The reason I'm giving you this. Oh, Naomi, you want to talk to the class? Oh, you could open your mic and tell them what you think it is. Naomi has a nice answer for number 16. You want to open up your mic and talk, Naomi. Now, the reason why I gave this one, it's similar to question, the reasoning and logic question. Your mic not working, Naomi? Naomi actually got the correct answer. My audio is not working. But she really had the correct answer, but she didn't write it out, but that's cool. So let me explain what Naomi has. She has 3 to the x times x. So if you do this for 0, anything times 0 is 0. If you do it for 0. If you do it for 1, it will be 1 times 3 to the power 1. 3 to the power 1 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So for 2, it will be 2 times 3 to the power 2. So 3 to the power 2 is 3 times 3 is 9 times 2, which is 18. If you do it for 3, it will be 3 times 3 to the power 3. 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27 times 3 is 81. So can somebody tell me what will be 4, please? Can somebody give me the answer? Oh, why is this not moving? Can somebody give me the answer for so can somebody put in the chat the answer for 4? All right, I think I get in some answers. Well, no, again, different answers. No, Antonio. No, no, people. It will now be, let me write it down. It will now be 4 times 3 to the 4th power. How much is that? Yes, Udia. That's correct. No, Johansi. No, Jamilia. Yes, Theodora. Yes, Antonio. Yes, Deshawn. Yes, Tyrese. Come try again, Johansi. Mikel. Sienna, yes. Sai. Jamilia, try again. Yes, Jamilia, that's correct. Ashley, try again. Antonio had it. Garcia, I didn't get anything from you. Jedidia, I didn't get anything from you. Carrison, Deshawn had it correct. Shalomi, I didn't get any answer from you. Kylon, I didn't get any answer from you. Marcus, I didn't get any answer from you. Johanse, correct. Garcia, correct. Michael, I didn't get any answer from you. Deshawn, where's Jenny? Jenny, you didn't give me any answer. Jenny, you didn't give me any answer. All right, anybody, what is 3 times 3 times 3 3s are 9. 9 3s are 27. And 27 times 3 is how much? 81. What is 81 times 4? Anybody? 81 times 4. It's 324. That's the answer. So your answer is 324. All right. So next class, we are going to do inverse function. I will recap what we did. We will do inverse function and we'll catch up on composite function. All right. So next class, I'm doing inverse function and we'll catch up on composite function.